Hi there, Emma Drew here, and welcome to another episode of Confessions of a YouTuber, the podcast that makes YouTube simple and gets up close and personal with successful YouTube creators, helping you understand what it takes to grow your YouTube channel the easy way. I'd like to thank TubeBuddy for sponsoring today's show. TubeBuddy is a free browser extension that helps you easily manage and optimize your YouTube channel. It's the YouTube channel tool I personally can't live without. For more information, head over to tubebuddy.com or check out their link in the show notes below. Today's guest has got over 280,000 subscribers and over 35 million views and continues to thrive as an independent creator. In addition to running her channel, she's also a multi-award winning nail technician, blogger, YouTube entrepreneur, and mother of 3. So let's dive straight in and welcome the beautiful Natasha Lee from the YouTube channel Natasha Lee. Oh, hi Natasha, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello, it's good to speak to you, Emma.
Hi, well, thanks for joining me today. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. It's a bit warm here in North Wales, which is unusual, it has to be said.
So actually, I wasn't sure whether I described your channel very well. So perhaps you could give me a little bit of a description of what your channel does and what it's all about.
Essentially, it is a nail art channel. I do say loosely there's some beauty and lifestyle in there because occasionally I'll put little bits like that. It's very much a project of passion. So sometimes there'll be something that people ask me about. Like recently, I shared a new office tour because I've had a brand new office and I really love it. Basically, I put a lot of work and time into it.
Right.
And I showed a flower wall and everybody was like, oh my God, how do you make the flower wall? So I did a video making the flower wall. And it's sort of occasionally I'll put those bits in, but in essence, it is a nail art tutorial channel. So I teach about nail art, nail health, things to watch out for, having your nails done, or if you do your own nails. It's an area where it's always been seen previously as something quite, I think quite vacuous, but there's a lot of like places, companies, newspapers that love to create a bit of drama to get the column inches and to get out there. So ever so often nails hit the news for all the wrong reasons. And then
not like, oh, I broke my nail today.
No, it's like normally like gel manicures cause cancer. They don't. Just to put it out there that driving your car for 5 minutes on a cloudy day with your hands on the steering wheel, I think I'll get this wrong, but it's approximately the same as having like a year's worth of gel manicures or something like that. So it's sensationalist, column inch grabbing sort of thing. So
you're here to sort of, even that.
This is it. I try to do fun and enjoyable things and arty things, and then I throw something in that's a bit more hard hitting about nail health and allergies and things to watch out for.
Yeah. So how did you get into that niche? Is that your background?
It's sort of it's my most recent background. I'm a bit of a Mr. Ben. So probably my first serious job was train driver, and then with having children.
Did you do your nails while you were driving the train? Obviously not while you were driving the train.
No, but I did actually. Here's the thing. I was the most prolific nail biter growing up, horrendous, to the point where I would bite my nails until they bled. And it was something I hated that I did, and it was an anxious thing.
Oh, wow.
And when French manicures became very in vogue in the 90s, I was like, I need to grow my nails. I think I was about 17 and I started trying to grow them. I was so excited and I discovered I have crap nails and they don't grow without breaking. So it was this sort of thing. I've always looked at girls with nice nails and thought, oh, they look so well presented and they look so pretty. But, I'm quite a practical person. And so it was never a big enough deal for me to get anything done. And getting your nails done wasn't a big thing back then. I'm giving away my age a little bit now, but it wasn't something that everybody did. And so basically, I did a couple of different careers. I've got 3 boys and all 3 have autism, but they also have a few other disabilities as well. And each time I've had one of my sons, I've had to take a bit of a career change because you fit your life around your demands. Yes. And then when your demands get considerably greater, it's not always possible with childcare and things like that to be able to continue down the path you were on. So
how did the whole YouTube thing get started? Was that a catalyst for you starting your channel?
Yes. What basically happened is my eldest son, I've been his mum since he was 4. So my husband was a single dad when I met him. And we got together and I became Mike's stepmom. So that's when I gave up the train driving because it wasn't feasible. My husband's a train driver and it's not feasible having 2 people on that sort of shift work with a child in the house. So he offered to give up the job and I said, no, I'll do it. I only did it to prove some guys wrong who were slagging me off in the mess room because I was painting my nails, take note, whilst I was on a break, and they were saying I was an air brain. I could never be a train driver. So I was like, right, that's it. And so I spent a year of my life qualifying to be a train driver, just to prove some weird old guy that I can't even remember what his name was wrong, really. That's a really valid reason to give up a year of your life when you're so young.
Yeah, well, you certainly proved it to yourself.
Well, this is it. I think it's always good to push yourself. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life at that time. I knew things I definitely didn't want to do. So I thought, let's just try out different things and see which one works.
When did you decide to start the YouTube channel?
That was something that I've always been, I can't remember what I'm really called now. I'm 39 now. So we're not millennials because they've got to be born in 81 apparently onwards. So I think we're something like zennials. So I basically grew up in a primary school with no computers. Towards the end of secondary school, we had like MS-DOS and we used to use word art. And then all of a sudden we find ourselves in careers where we have to embrace technology and quite quickly. And so that's been quite a challenge. So I'd always been, when everyone was talking about texting, I was like, no, I don't do that. I'll call you. And when Tomorrow's World was talking about the World Wide Web, I was like, that'll never take off. That's way too complicated.
Yeah, and Tomorrow's World was an old program in the 60s. No, sorry, in the 70s, 80s?
70s and 80s, yeah, science-based program.
Science-based technology program.
So there's one of my secrets. I am a complete science geek, which I do keep a bit. I don't keep it secret. I just don't really talk about it. People only come around when they see like the quantum physics dummies guide on my bookcase.
Oh yeah, I love all that quantum physics stuff.
But basically what happened was I then went on to have my first biological son, but my second son, James. And when he was born, I knew something wasn't quite right. I was due to start work as a financial advisor. I'd qualified and then I'd gone for maternity. And during the time I was off on maternity, I realized there was something very wrong and it was very hard to get anyone to listen to me. And I was trying and I was begging experts and I was saying there's something not right here.
What wasn't right?
I always say trust a mother's intuition.
Right,
He didn't. He couldn't sit up. He wasn't reaching any of his milestones. So he's also got physical issues as well as autism. So this is where not all children with autism will miss certain physical milestones. But James did because he also has hypotonia, hypermobility and dyspraxia. So basically he has very low muscle tone and his joints are hyperflexible. So it can make him quite floppy like a puppet.
Wow.
So he couldn't roll over, he couldn't sit up. He acted strange over certain things. He really didn't like eyes and faces.
What did you do at that point?
I'd kept saying to the health visitors, I said, when I'm changing his nappy and I'm holding his ankles, they're clicking out of place. I can feel, and they were like, children are flexible. And I was like, no, there's something not right. And he's not reached this milestone. And like, every child is different. And I was like, why won't they listen to me? Especially when it's your first.
Yes.
And in the end, I had to, which I've had to continue to do throughout his life and his brother's lives, put my foot down. And I said, there's something wrong. And if you don't refer me to get him looked at, I'm going to sort it out myself and I'm going to take you down when I find out what's wrong. And it worked because I got him referred to a community paediatrician who then referred to a hospital paediatrician, and then it just snowballed. But with it, I'd looked into childcare and there were no childminders or nurseries in the area that could accommodate any child that was anything other than what's deemed as neurotypical. They couldn't cope with anything else, any extra demands. So I had to hand in my notice with work. And I just spent the next few years caring. He was a very, very challenging child. He's very open about it now. He's an amazing young man. But he was very violent. He self-harmed a lot. He head-butted walls and floors and stairs. And we had
He was only young.
Yeah, he was only like 1.5, 2. And we had to get a brain scan because I was concerned about the level of damage he might have done to his brain. Also for the fact, it's an awful thing, but when you have a child that is that violent towards themselves, it is a very real risk that someone will think you are doing something to that child. So you need to get people involved who can witness this stuff so they can back
Support
you up and say, no, it's not them doing it to the child. That's because he was permanently covered in bruises and lumps and marks.
So this became your full-time job, really?
That was my full-time. It was more than full-time because you don't sleep when you're in that situation. And his older brother had autism as well. My life just basically was caring 24/7.
Wow.
And then James started playgroup. And when they hit a certain age, you can leave them for 2.5 hours a day. So he had a 1-to-1 at playgroup. And I suddenly had 2.5 hours a day, which I had not had in years. And I was like, oh my God, I've got 2.5 hours to myself. Which
So it must have felt quite an alien feeling.
Yeah, it was actually probably about 1 hour 50 by the time I'd done the drive there and back. But I was like, I need to do something with this time. What can I do with this? I need to give myself a future. I've had to phoenix my career twice already. I need to do something here.
Wow.
So I started thinking, I thought I need a job where I'm self-employed, where I'm my own boss essentially, because I can't afford to be asking someone for time off for all the specialist appointments, because they will get fed up in the end. You know, sometimes you can have 4 or 5 in a week, sometimes 2 in a day, and they can be at different hospitals. So
and you'd have to have a very special employer to be that understanding, unless you worked for the hospital.
Exactly. Or it could just be that you're going to turn up an hour and a half late because that morning has been the morning of a meltdown, because that morning is the one morning that the trousers feel different, or a fly has got in the house, or there's something where they've changed the TV routine of what program should be on, and you've had it. You've absolutely, unless you've got a child with these sort of needs, I don't think people truly understand. You know, if you say, I'm sorry, they had a bit of a breakdown, they don't get it. We're talking, you have to stop them physically harming themselves. You've got to keep yourself safe. You've got to keep them safe. So it was all these sort of things. And I thought, right, I need a job. I need to be self-employed. I do not want anything that is mentally demanding, because my life is mentally demanding enough. I want something that is completely relaxing. I need something arty, because I don't have time for a hobby as well as a job. And I started thinking, what do I fancy? I'm basically starting from scratch here. I am in a position where I've not got people telling me, you're clever, you should do this, or you're capable, you should do this. I am just able to have the freedom for the first time in my life to do whatever I want. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. And never had that level of autonomy before. And I was like, oh my God.
So you're a little bit sort of stunned by it. It's like, okay, there's this sort of vacuum. What am I going to do?
What would I do if I had time to myself? What would I like to fill that time with? And I thought, well, I love art. I've always been creative, and it might be sculpture or painting or something like that. I've always enjoyed that sort of thing. I thought, how can I turn that into a job? Because let's be honest, art doesn't pay normally.
And also part-time hours.
Exactly. You know, I thought, no, that's not going to work. I thought, what can I do where I work from home? Basically, long story short, I came up first with hairdressing. And I was like, no, I couldn't be like an apprentice sweeping up hair and making cups of tea. I'm too old for that malarkey. And then I thought, what about nails? I thought, oh, I've got rubbish nails. Oh my God, my nails could always look amazing.
Yeah.
And that sold it to me. I decided I'm going to train in nails.
So clearly you're not afraid of any challenges.
No, just go for it. I just thought, let's just go for it. And then I thought, I will never be busy enough just as a nail tech. How wrong was I again? And so I trained in beauty therapy as well.
Right. So you got some background training.
I got background training first. Then my husband and I decided to try for another child, and I'm supposed to be infertile. I have quite severe polycystic ovary syndrome. So my first son, James, was a long time in the making. It was years of investigations, and we were heading towards the IVF route when I did manage to conceive naturally. So we expected the same thing to happen again. No. So the first time we decided to try, I actually fell pregnant, which was also, I found out 2 weeks after I started my college course. And so I was pregnant and training at the same time. So I did a college.
It's great timing, isn't it?
Oh, perfect. You know, throw it all on. So I did a 1-day-a-week college course, and my mother-in-law would help out. And I did separate nail courses because I wanted to do a higher level of nails than the college offered. And basically that's how I started. I started off planning to be a nail tech. My intention was that when this baby was born, that turned out to be George, I would maybe do a few people at home. And then when he started school, I'd look at going into a salon. And then maybe after a few years, I might look at maybe getting my own salon, maybe in my 40s or something.
So then tell me how the whole YouTube thing happened.
It just exploded. I started doing nails.
Did you come across YouTube and thought, no, I could do that?
No, it wasn't even that. Basically, I started doing nails. I had people, like my friends coming to me. And then one friend turned around and said, there's a space opened up in a salon that I work in. Are you interested in renting a nail desk? And I'm like, I'm 8 months pregnant. But I thought, this opportunity might not happen around the corner again. So I went for it. Basically, when I started doing clients, I ended up doing nail art, and I'd never wanted to do it before because I thought it was a bit chavvy. And then I discovered I really liked it. So I started doing it, and I posted my pictures online to try and get more customers.
Mm-hmm.
And then people kept asking me over and over again, how did you create that design? How did you do this? How did
Where
you
were
do
you
that?
posting it?
I was posting on Facebook. On a Facebook page. And I was just then giving a step-by-step, and I was replying to everyone giving a step-by-step, and I was like, oh my God, this is so long-winded. And I wanted to help people and inspire them.
Oh.
And I thought, if I just I'd seen YouTube and I'd watched a few YouTube videos to help me when I was learning nails. So I suddenly thought, if I just get my phone and I record a video on my phone and upload it to YouTube, I can just get the link and give it to those people, and then they can learn how to do it. So that's what I did. I had no idea that anyone else could ever see these videos. I thought the only people that would see them were the people I gave the link to.
Oh.
I was completely oblivious. So my channel was originally called Divine by Design because that was my business name I came up with for my nail side of it, as a nail tech and then as a salon.
I see.
So I started it, and I started growing in the industry really, really quickly. Obviously, George is only 6 now, and I've already had a salon and sold the salon and been doing YouTube for a couple of years independently. So basically what happened was I just kept doing these videos, and people would say to me, oh, have you learned how to do this technique? I'd love to see that you explain how you do it, because you're really clear and concise and you're always so perfect with your work.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and I suddenly realized I'd always been interested in sort of teaching, but I'd never realized what avenue. I'd had a university placement for 3 to 8 year olds at 18, and decided I didn't really feel it in my gut that it was the right thing to do, and I didn't want to pursue something which would put me into so much debt when I wasn't 100%.
Right.
So I took a gap year and ended up in the employment world and never ended up going back. But then I realized that I might want to be a nail educator, actually, because this fulfills all the different angles. It's arty. There's so much science with the A&P, the anatomy and physiology. And I love that. I am such a science geek, and I love biology. I did it at A level, and it's just, I was in my element. You've got the side of it where you've got architecture and angles and rules of ergonomics, and then you've got the pretty side of it.
Do you bring that into your videos?
Yes, I cover it all. I'd like to give as much information in an easy to understand way that inspires people to know more about themselves, their nails and their body. It's not just sticking a coating on your nails. There's so much more to that.
Who's primarily your audience?
Primarily, I would have to pull up my demographics, but I normally sit pretty equally between the, I think it's like 13 to 18, 18 to 25, is it 25 to 35? Sort of, I cover those areas mainly around, I think it's the mid-20s mark, tends to be mine quite a bit. Mainly women, although a quarter of my audience is men.
Interesting. Well, there's quite a few men who wear nail varnish these days.
Yeah, I think it's also I think it's also for a couple of different reasons that we're encouraged by YouTube themselves.
All right.
That I never used to show myself in my videos. I didn't want anyone to know who I was. I showed my finger, and you would see a hand, and the channel was called Divine by Design, and I never gave my name away. I didn't want to appear on camera. It wasn't something I was comfortable with. And my voice was very monotone. And then people kept saying to me, I had a particular viral video, and people were going, oh my God, you sound so depressing. Oh my God, you make me want to kill myself. Oh, this is awful to listen to.
Great
and
feedback.
I was like, okay, right, what do I do with this?
So then how did you go from that sort of feedback to actually appearing on your videos?
YouTube in London. I blame them entirely. Basically, I got picked up as being, when I still had my salon, I'd become an educator for nails because a brand had noticed the videos I produced and liked my teaching style, and I ended up going and doing a boot camp with them and educating. And then I had my salon, and then I got contacted by YouTube in London, and it said that I'd been selected as one of the top 18 up and coming YouTubers in the UK, and YouTube in London would like to mentor me personally.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And I went on something called the Helium program, and I met all these amazing people I'm still friends with now. And so it was through that mentoring I got, and we had to do a certain amount of courses in a certain amount of time. You also then got a YouTube partner, and then they would go through your channel and they'd say, right, look at this, and teach you how to find your trends and all your different things like that. And they said to me, you are so funny when you meet, when you meet you're really funny and you're personable
in real
and you're
life.
yeah. Why don't you put that on your channel? I was like, oh no, no, I'm not. No, people don't want to see that shit. They don't want to see that.
You've been quite intentional in keeping yourself off camera.
Exactly.
Just your hands.
It was basically you were getting the educator Natasha, not Tash. And so I was like, no, I don't want to do that. They were like, yeah, but you'd be really, really good on camera. You're so emotive. And I was like, no, I'm chubby and I'm Welsh and I'm short and I'm ginger. And no, it's not going to work for me. And they were like, no, you need to do this. If you want this to work for you, you need to rebrand.
So that was really good advice, actually, wasn't it? So after that, did you go on camera? Was it pretty much that?
Changed the business name. I took it from being like a third-party business, which was defined by design, and I turned it into Natasha Lee instead. So I completely took on board what they said. It went through a few transition periods to find where it is now. But then I started appearing on camera, but I didn't have very good equipment back then.
And but so back then, it didn't really matter, did it?
No, it wasn't like it is now, and
videos has changed a bit now, but
3-minute videos were key, not like 20-minute documentaries.
How did your audience react to you once you came on camera? I mean,
I've been amazingly lucky. Oh, they were. It really, YouTube were right. They were on the ball. I say YouTube, it is YouTube, but it was the people that were there. They really knew their stuff. And they knew the audience, they knew the creators, and they knew what
you had to do to grow your channel.
Exactly. So she was, they were talking to me and telling me what to do, and I was like, right, fantastic. Okay, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and do this. So they'd said why don't you do beauty as well, because your hair always looks so good. And I was like, no, I don't really fancy that. But I tried it because I had to produce a certain amount of videos to be able to pass the course, because they needed to be able to mark us on our progression. So I did produce a few, and I got used to being on camera a bit more. But you can really see in those early videos, I really wasn't comfortable. And it's still, if I take a break now, I took a break for a couple of months after Christmas because I had so much on with other avenues, and I just needed to step away a bit because it gets really exhausting.
But how do your community react, though? Do they give you much feedback in the comments section?
They're so supportive. I am really open about stuff. I'm like, I need to take time out. They know the situation with the kids as well. And they know that sometimes I need to take a break. And I've said to them, it's going to be sporadic at the moment. I used to be every Saturday. And every Saturday, when the YouTube algorithm favors a 3-minute video, is perfectly doable. When the YouTube algorithm started favoring a 10-minute video, it was much more demanding, because that's 3 times the amount of work in 1 week. Because as you know, it's not the filming that's the hard bit, it's the editing. And you need to make sure that when you're then filming, you have enough decent content to create a good 10-minute video as opposed to a good 3-minute video.
There's a lot of planning involved.
Exactly. And now it's favoring a 20-minute video. Well, I can't be producing what I was producing at the rate I was producing it. It's just I hit a point where the algorithm was affecting my quality. To produce the quantity that it demanded, it affected my quality and it affected my passion.
So it sounded like it was actually not something you were enjoying anymore.
No, I wasn't.
You were trying to serve an algorithm.
And that's the problem. I was to get to,
and not your audience.
Exactly. And that is the thing, because let's be totally honest here. I want my audience to enjoy my videos. I created the videos for an audience before I even knew you could monetize. I didn't even know my channel existed for ages before I even knew about monetization. I'd had a viral before I found out about monetization. And but the thing is that when it's something you do on the side, you don't rely on that income. That income I used to use to be able to improve my quality of my filming equipment or my tripod or something like that. It was an added bonus. When it is your sole income and it is your sole income stream, that's a very different situation, because then you can't go about it with the same attitude of devil may care that you did, where you just did what you wanted to do for you and your audience. You then have to think about the big Google and YouTube and advertisers above that, because you want to create what you want to create, but at the same time you need to bring in money to being able to help you to create this stuff. You've still got bills to pay. You've still, even if you just look at your minimal channel overheads, they still need to be paid.
Absolutely. And it's a pressure for a lot of creators. And also a lot of the time it's a catalyst for you creating even better content or finding a new
Exactly.
revenue source or whatever. So I just want to go back actually, because clearly you're a successful YouTuber. I mean, in terms of your subscriber numbers and your views, and they are numbers, but they are obviously huge. But what would you really define success as a YouTuber? How would you define it?
For me personally, success is finding the point where you are enjoying what you are doing and your audience is enjoying what they're doing. That's success, is that you're enjoying it, you still got your passion for it, you're able to bring in some income that gets you by, and your audience is enjoying what you're doing, and you've stayed authentic. I think that's the problem. I've had this battle a few times where I call it, when I do intentional virals, or ones that I intend to be in viral, or I have a good feeling that they will go viral.
Yeah.
We call that the hero content in the industry.
Yes. Yeah.
And when I know that I need to do certain hero content because of the genre that I am, it needs to be gimmicky.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'll be talking to my friends, they say, what you're filming this week or what you're planning, I go, oh, this week's a Sell My Soul week. And it's that I will create something that, okay, yeah, it's fun to do. The fidget spinners I loved because that took my geeky brain to engage, to work out, how am I going to create this out of nail products? How am I going to do a bearing? And I loved all that. That was great fun. It was involving the kids with it. But then there's certain times where you try and do something, you think, right, what's current? How can I embrace what's current and bring it into a nail video to try and boost the channel? You need to do that. Your evergreen content is fantastic. It keeps you ticking over. Just for anyone that's listening that doesn't understand the difference between those, so hero content is essentially virals. It's something that gives your channel a big boost, both in subscriber numbers and financially on a short term, but it's short-lived. Evergreen content is something that will be continually searched for a number of years and doesn't really date. So for me, it will be how to perform the perfect pedicure, how to do a manicure, how to use gel paint, all these sort of things, the how-tos it tends to be. They're my evergreen content. I need to boost that evergreen content. With hero content ever so often, it's hard in this genre. And it's hard to do it in a way that you maintain your integrity.
Yes, I think you've just explained. So you've gone from sort of doing things that are like high energy that you really love doing, and they don't necessarily follow a sort of strategic path or planning in terms of their format of video, like the hero or the how-tos, whatever. And it is something that you have to balance, isn't it? So, but what point did you actually realize yourself that you are a successful YouTube channel? Really bringing in some money, or was it when you were
when the kids at school started coming up to me and going, oh my God, is it true that you're a YouTuber?
Oh, wow.
I think it was maybe when the newspapers picked up on me. And then TV channels.
What were they saying?
It's a novelty value, isn't it? Train driver to YouTuber. And I get that. I'm down with that narrative. That is fine with me. Because it's true. And I think it just shows, none of us have to sit in a box. None of us have to. And sometimes we grow up with those constraints around us without realizing it. And they can be on you from childhood. They can be put on you through education. And I think that for me, it was when I thought I had so many people belittle what I was doing as a nail tech and as a YouTuber, and assume so many things about me as a person, about my educational standing, about my mental abilities. And I think it was when I started realizing, when I started getting picked up, I mean, newspapers and the new BBC and ITV and Lorraine and everything, it was amazing, because I thought, do you know what? This gives hope to others. And that's the first time, I think, when I got picked up by those, I thought that's the first time I felt like it might be successful, because I thought I can get this message out. That
did it really boost your channel views?
No, it didn't. It really didn't. It was minimal boost to the channel, but for me, it's more about the message, because when James was little, and I'm very open with James about this now, he understands he's the most articulate, exceptional, amazing little miracle ever. He's not so little, he's taller than me now, but they were dark times. When you are fighting against professionals, you have a child that they're injuring themselves so much, you don't know if they're going to wake up each morning. And to go from that to have to look and go, I still need something for me. I can still be a great mum and build something for me. And I went out on a limb, and I went a weird way, and I turned my back on everything I've ever done before. I turned my back on all the little voices in my head that I'd grown up with saying only stupid people do this and only dumb girls do that. And
so when people meet you now and they say, what do you do? Obviously that question, and obviously you tell them you're a YouTuber. What's the sort of questions you get asked?
I normally say the first thing I got asked this morning, but normally when people say, oh, what do you do? I say, I'm a YouTuber and I'm a CEO of my own brand. And that's how I introduce it now. And the first question I normally get asked is, oh, what do you do videos on? And when I say nail art, it stumps them, completely stumps them. You don't know where to go with it. They're like, because generally to the vast majority of non-YouTube participating people, YouTubers are gamers and pranksters. Yeah, and that's it. They don't, I mean, I learned how to fix my dishwasher from YouTube. I love it. You know,
I mean, it's amazing. It's got so much educational content, and that's what I love doing this podcast, because I'm talking to so many amazing people who've got so much to offer and serving so many people in terms of what they're teaching. It's incredible.
I think in terms of every career I've had, it sounds stupid, but this is the most demanding, frustrating, and isolating. The goalposts are constantly changed without your knowledge. You tend to find it out through Twitter and other creators.
That's right.
Philip DeFranco is my main source of what's changing in my career. And the goalposts are constantly moved. It can be swept from underneath you at any given point. I'll give you an example. I earned more when I didn't upload because, I don't know if you recall going quite far back, where we lost some of our biggest advertisers.
Is that during the apocalypse?
No, it was way before Adpocalypse. Well, I suppose it was the start of Adpocalypse. Is that Marks and Spencer's pulled out, from what I can recall, when they found out that their adverts were appearing before jihadist beheading videos, which I completely agree with. I completely agree. But that was, you can look at my my sort of income from that point. You can look at my revenue stream, and you can see at the end of that quarter, when they'd pulled out, it plummeted off a cliff. It literally went to a quarter of what it had been, because I had a lot of viral videos, so I had the big advertisers. And then we had the Jake Paul and Logan Paul situation, but mainly Logan Paul. And that basically was a poison chalice for the YouTube community. So that one YouTuber's actions just killed a whole load of us in their stupidity. And I am perfectly open about saying it's stupidity. They were adults and knew perfectly well what they were doing. So only when he got caught out, he started changing what he was doing. So, you know, absolute bloody idiot. So I'm not going to mince my words remotely in that. If I was his mother, I would be tearing shreds off him. But then
this obviously affects everyone in terms of their livelihood, in terms of whether they're actually able to continue to upload and create videos.
Exactly.
Because it needs funding, and your only source is the ad revenue.
And it's not cheap to do, you know.
It isn't.
If you start looking at my videos, you know, they get a few thousand views now, probably about since Adpocalypse and everything else, and the algorithm changes and all the rest of it. I'm probably hitting about 10,000 views in the first few days. My quality of editing and filming has had to rise dramatically. That was based on YouTube's advice, and they were completely right with that, completely right. But because the overall quality of the videos that are now uploaded to YouTube are exceptionally high. My main filming camera is £2,500. You know, you start adding on to it my custom built Mac, Final Cut Pro, the mic that I'm talking on, the additional cameras, the tripods. You're talking about thousands of pounds to produce a video that might only get seen by a few thousand people. And then people get narky when they're like, oh, well, YouTubers make a mint. They shouldn't be making any money anyway. They should get a proper job.
Well, I think there is that impression that YouTubers do earn a lot of money. And obviously, you know, the top 1 to 2% do make a lot of money. But not all YouTubers do. And the majority of them don't. And therefore, while, you know, technology improves, people are able to get access to, you know, high level equipment and that kind of thing. So they're making better quality videos now, and it's more accessible because it's cheaper. It just means that you as a YouTuber need to also step up.
Exactly. I think what's misunderstood about this, and it's what I do love about it, because if I didn't love this, I certainly wouldn't be doing it for the minimal, you know, couple of hundred I make now. I love the fact that this career encompasses everything. So you've got to be a social marketing whiz. You've got to be able to look at trends and patterns and unique selling points. You've got to be able to edit. You've got to be a bit of a geek when it comes to algorithms, demographics, charts, trends.
Yeah.
You know, and then you've got to be a Photoshop whiz to be able to do your thumbnails, which people don't realize how important they are. My thumbnails take 2 to 3 hours to do.
Yeah.
So all these things, I mean, that's why I love it. You know, you've got to know about
Absolutely.
SEO, you've got to know about how you load your tags, your keywords,
Yeah, you
everything
need
else.
to be able to engage your audience and keep them on board.
And then you need to do all of this like a robot whilst maintaining your integrity, your authenticity, and your warmth.
Yeah.
And it is demanding. And I think you'll see now that the YouTubers that are starting to be left are the ones that, like me now, I am doing the videos when I am wanting to do them.
Yeah.
In reality, I would want to do them every week, but I want to make sure that when I put the effort into a video, people who would like to see that sort of stuff are seeing it, and it's just not happening anymore. And so for me, I would rather do one video every 2 to 3 weeks that I sort of, you know, dance to the merry beat of the algorithm to a certain degree, but in order to be able to reach that audience, to inspire. And I'm so bloody lucky with my audience, how amazing they are. I mean, I talk to them and we send messages and, you know, how are the kids? How's it going? What happened with the job interview?
Wow, so they're like your friends, aren't
Oh,
they? It's like having a massive community of friends.
It is a community. They call it community on YouTube, and it is a community. And I love it. And they're so supportive. When I say I need to take a couple of weeks out, you know, I'm burning out here mentally. I can't keep doing it. Or they're like, you know, as much as we'd love to see you every week, you come back when you're ready. You're a mum first. Your family comes first. Oh my God, that's amazing.
That is such a beautiful thing.
It is absolutely. And when I mean, so many people like, I'm so grateful for my audience. No, I really am. I wouldn't do it if it weren't for them. There's no financial benefit to me doing this anymore.
Well, that's a very interesting point, because I was going to come on to this, because you actually have a business, don't you?
Yes.
And that is something that you've been working on more recently. Is that right?
Basically, I for years, since I've been in the nail world, people have said to me, why don't you bring out your own brand? Why don't you bring out your own brand? Because I'm known for being particularly OCD about the way I do things and about what my expectations of products and tools are. That I have very high expectations. If I'm paying for something to do a certain job, it should do that job and do it well. And so people are saying to me, why don't you bring out your own brands? Come on, you should. You've got a following on YouTube. You've got you know, you've got an immediate audience there. But I was like, yeah, okay. But I was scared, basically. It was something I wanted to do, but I was scared. I didn't know how to go about it. When you're a little person on your own doing this and you haven't got a team behind you, you haven't got an agent.
And also there's not a huge amount of money coming in from YouTube, right?
Exactly.
So you're thinking, how the hell do I fund it?
You have to self-fund, you know, and I've gone the same way as Elemis. They started on a credit card, and so have I. So this is what you have to do. But
so tell us about what happened.
Basically, I'd thought about it, and it was something that as Adpocalypse was happening, I was like, right, okay. I always believe that if, you know, comfort zone is a dangerous place to be, because you don't build or grow when you're in your comfort zone. And when YouTube was doing amazingly well and money was coming in nicely, and, you know, I've not got a swimming pool, I haven't moved house, but I was able to actually go, this is working. I can cover my bills. I've got a little bit extra. I might be able to take a wage.
Did you find what you were putting in, you were getting out?
Yeah. Oh, and more. But then Adpocalypse happened.
Right.
And that's when I was
quite quick thinking on your feet. What next?
Yeah, I was like, right, okay. And we'd always known, a group of us that got together through Helium at YouTube, we'd always talked about this, because we've got a little chat group. We still talk, 4 of us, and we're across different genres. We're like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, you know, diversify, because we're relying on, you know, affiliate income and advertising and all different things. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. And I was like, right, you know what? For me, for some of the other guys, they can get it through books and stuff like that. But I'm like, and like some of them do Panto, and that's how they build up. But for me, it's got to be products, and I want it to be products. So basically, I'd started looking into it. I was feeling a bit overwhelmed. I didn't know how to do this because I didn't want to just white label. I did not want to just stick my logo on something that already existed.
Right.
I wanted to research. I wanted to develop. I wanted to custom create items to my own specifications.
And also from your whole experience and
Exactly.
the feedback you've got from your community, you must be quite clear on what it was that you wanted to do, right?
Well, if I was putting my name to it, it had to personify everything that I believe I should stand for. I'm a firm believer it takes your lifetime to build your integrity and one action to lose it.
Wow.
And so
True.
for me, I will sacrifice money and a sponsorship deal if I do not feel that it fits with me as a person, my brand, or I don't like the ethos of the company that are approaching me. And I always say I'll never be a millionaire for that, but I can sleep soundly at night. And I know that when I recommend something to people, it's because I wholeheartedly love that thing, whatever it is.
Yeah. And actually, going back to that, do they approach you or do you approach them?
No, I never approach companies.
And who
That's
approaches
not an
you?
egotistical thing. I just don't have time.
That's right. So they approach you, do they directly, or do they come through an agent?
No, they tend to. Well, some are agencies, some are PR agencies, some are directly. It depends on the size of the company, to be honest with you. So obviously, the big companies have PR agencies. The smaller ones tend to do it directly.
Yeah.
They approach me. Generally, they say that they pay you money and you say how amazing their product is.
Fine.
However, for me, I always go back to them, and I will be honest with you, 95% of the time, the companies like the fact I do this. There's only been a couple of big companies that have really seen their bottom over it. But I turn around and I say, listen, here's the deal. Here's what I charge. These are the options you get so that you get the most from your financial investment, and we both benefit in a cohesive way that's authentic. However, before I will agree to any of these terms, I need to have the product first. If it's not something I already own, I need to have the product. I want to trial it. I want to see how it works. Does it deliver? Does it work for me? Is it something that works for me? If after I've trialed it, I like it, I'll come back and we can discuss the terms. If, however, I trial it and it doesn't work for me, then I'm afraid we won't be able to do business.
Sounds fair.
That works for me. I'm not going to tell people to pay money for something that's crap. I'm just not.
And so when you did do some sponsorship deals, were you ever thinking, oh, hang on a minute, this could be my product? How amazing would that be?
I mean, I love doing sponsorship deals because, to be honest with you, for me, a sponsorship deal, when I do them, is the perfect scenario. I'm getting paid by somebody to talk about something I love. That works for me wholeheartedly. Obviously, there's a lot I turn down. I turn down far more than I accept, far more, but that works for me. What actually started happening is I was putting so much effort with the algorithm changes constantly and adpocalypse. The income was going down. I get sent a lot of PR samples, and that is wonderful. I love it because it's great because I get stuff to play with that I might not have known about otherwise. And so I suddenly realized that I put a lot of effort into the videos and sort of showcasing the items that I use and providing links of where to buy them. And I'd be thinking, I'm doing all of this. Now, I'd be charging so many thousand if I was doing this paid for another brand, but I'm just producing this video, showcasing all these products for someone else who's not paying because I'm just producing the video. And then I'm making basically nothing from AdSense.
Yes.
It seems really silly that I'm putting in so much time and effort into something that I could make better. I know I could make better because I'm fussy. I just need to focus and do it. I was scared. It's a financial, it's
a huge step.
And
it's a risk, isn't it?
It is a risk. And I'm thinking this money is money that, could provide stuff for my kids. And what happens if I lose it all?
Yeah.
And that was the very real thing that kept playing around in my mind. And it's that self-doubt. So basically, I went to Tony Robbins' UPW last year.
Wow, amazing.
And it was that I'd seen a friend had gone to it the year before, and something I didn't really know much about Tony Robbins.
So tell us about that, because that's a huge investment too, right?
Yeah, it was a really big investment, and I paid for it with fidget spinner money. So fidget spinner nails.
So fidget spinner nails is a viral video of yours.
Yeah,
right?
It's a viral video, and it put me in Time magazine in America and all over the news and everything like that. It's amazing. It did a worldwide sweep, and it feels really weird when people go, I saw you on my local news in some little place in America, and I was like, that is so weird. When I go to my local shop and no one knows my name, and then there's someone in America in a little village somewhere who knows who I am. That messes with my head. It's like a parallel universe that I don't know exists until I get a little glimpse of it ever so often, because I do live in my little completely ignorant bubble quite happily.
Yes,
But
yes. I think a lot of YouTubers do live in their little bubbles, hence why we're getting together every so often.
This is it, you forget you've got this reach. But basically, my friend had been, and she's actually Melanie Bundock. She's now Melanie Moore. She's an amazing, she's a big person about EFT tapping and positivity. So she went to go and see Tony Robbins. She was talking about it online. I messaged her and she was like, oh my God, it was amazing. It was this, it was that. And I was like, I need to go. I need to go. And I turned around to my husband, and I mean, he'd never say no, but I do believe it's very important to be respectful in a relationship. So I turned around to my husband and said, listen, love, for my birthday next year, can you please take 6 days off work? Because he doesn't get much time off. So 6 days off is a lot, especially when I'm going to dump him with the kids on his own.
Right, so, I see. I thought you were going to ask him to come with you.
Oh, no, forget that. That's not his scene. So I was like, can you take 6 days off so I can basically disappear to London? And he was like, yeah, what do you want to do? I want to go to Tony Robbins. He's like, who's Tony Robbins? And you know, Shallow Hal, the guy in the lift that like hypnotizes him. He was like, oh yeah, the big guy. I was like, yeah, him. And he was like, right, okay. He didn't understand it, but he totally went with it. But basically I went, my husband said to me, why are you going?
That's a good question.
And I said, because it is a good question. This is where we do bounce off each other like this, you know. And he said, why are you going? I said, I need clarity. I said, there's so much noise in my head at the moment from so many different people and so many different areas. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I feel I need to go to something this extreme where he really gets through to you so that I can cut away the noise and get a pure sense of clarity of what my next steps are, because things are changing around me and I can't keep up. And whilst I remain to put the blinkers on, it's only going to end badly. I said, I want to bring out my brand, I think, but I need to go to know if it's the right decision.
And also, I guess you wanted to get some confidence, right?
Confidence, business acumen. You know, this was a completely new thing for me. I've been self-employed as a nail tech, but as an investor and a CEO and a creator, that's an entirely different ballgame altogether. You know, that's a lot of risks. That's not like saying I'm going to offer a service and charge for it. This is saying I'm going to create something that I think people will want, and I'm going to have to trust that people want it, because I'm going to have to pay a lot of money to create it.
So tell me what happened when you went to Tony Robbins then. How did you feel when you came out?
Transformative.
Really?
I wasn't expecting it, to be honest with you, because I'm quite a skeptical person. You know, I sort of call myself a healthy skeptic. I'm not a negative skeptic, but a healthy skeptic. And it was, my brain was going 10 to the dozen, but really clearly. And I knew what I needed to do. And I went there hoping to get the clarity to create a set of 5 nail art brushes. That's what I've been looking into. I came out, and by the time I got home, I was gabbling at my husband. And he was like, do you know, did it give you what you wanted? Did you get from it what you needed? I went, I got so much more. And he was like, what happened? I said, I am not just going to do 5 nail art brushes. I'm going to do files. I'm going to finally bring out nail files that I've been wanting in the industry. I'm going to bring out the tools that I've always wanted, but no one's created. So I'm going to design it myself. And then I want to bring out glitters, and I want to bring them out like this, but then I want to design it like this. And he was like, right. He said, so what's the problem? I said, I've got no way to pay for it.
Right.
And
big problem.
And I said, I've got no way to pay for it, because obviously YouTube was making no money. I wasn't even covering the overheads. I'd had to subsidize it out of our personal account just to cover the basic things like your web hosting. You know, web hosting costs.
Yes, absolutely.
And so you need to pay for these things. And he turned around, he went, use the credit card.
Wow.
And I thought, when he said that, because he knows I'm really sensible about money and I won't take risks with our family. And I turned around and I was like,
he believed in you, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he could tell that I came back. And I basically, the only downside of the whole thing was last April I went. I essentially locked myself in the office and lived off 3 to 4 hours sleep a night and didn't really see the kids until I launched in September. That's because a lot of my manufacturers are abroad, and because the time differences, to be able to speak and discuss with them, I needed to be up at 2 and 3 in the morning. Wow. So that was lots.
You were completely committed, weren't you?
I was back.
So when you say you launched it in September, what did you do to launch it? And did you incorporate your YouTube channel into the launch?
It was launched on my YouTube channel.
Right.
So
Okay.
basically 5 days, 4 or 5 days before I launched, I did what I call a soft launch. I launched the shop because I'd had to learn how to build a shop. I already looked after my blog, and my friend Steve Grady, who is an amazing SEO and internet whiz, I already knew how to do a blog. I had no idea how to create a shop. And I didn't want to have a shop whereby I was having to pay a percentage or a fee every month to be able to run it. I wanted autonomy. I wanted to be able to not be constrained by templates and things like that, because I want to create bundle products. And he said to me that you need to go down a WooCommerce angle and build it yourself from scratch. So with a little bit of his guidance, that's what I did. But I needed lots of testing. It was months and months of tweaking and like, this isn't quite right, and that button's wrong, and just loads of that.
Lots of optimization that you need to do.
Massive amount.
Totally get it.
I was concerned that I'd launch on the YouTube channel and the site would go down, or something would be massively wrong, or I didn't want to have another Manny makeup artist where people bought the products were sent to them and the payments were never received. So I didn't want any of that. So I spent a long time talking directly with PayPal and things like this to make sure that absolutely everything was
covered.
So I did soft launch where I went live on the website. I think it was about the Tuesday or Wednesday. And for those few days, I got friends to go over the channel.
And you did this back in last September, is that right?
September,
So clearly no mention of it on the channel, right?
No, I gave little hints and bits that I've got something really exciting in the pipeline, but I didn't say what it was. And then I launched on the 29th of September. And I did a pre-order period. Now, I actually had the stock here at the time, but I did a pre-order because my concern was that I had used all of the money to buy the stock. And if it sold out, I needed to get that money in to be able to order with the lead times so that I could already have the next lot of stock on its way to me. Right. So basically, it launched. Yeah. It was huge.
So when you say it launched, this is like when did you do a video on it?
Yeah, I did
put it on YouTube.
It's called, I think it's in like, it's time to tell you my secret.
It's time to tell you my secret. I'll put links of that below in the show notes.
That's what it's called. I would have to double check, but it's time to tell you my secret. And then talked about the products.
So you're doing your own product. You were literally doing your own product placement.
Yeah, everything from the brand, the logo design. Yes, it's time I told you my secret is the name of the video.
Great.
But everything has been done by me. The logo's designed and created by me. I did it on my computer and my same editing program I use for doing my thumbnails, which is Pixelmator, which is a much cheaper version of Photoshop. I think it's about £30. So I just did everything because I thought, if I'm creating this, all of my money has to go into the quality of the products, because everything else I physically have the ability to do or learn how to do myself. I don't have the money to be paying marketing companies or
so you got
designers.
So you went onto social, didn't you, with your brand?
Yes.
So you've got your Instagram.
Yeah. So it's
Facebook page.
Got Divine by Natasha Lee, Instagram, Divine by Natasha Lee, Facebook page. They're all Divine by NL. So at Divine by NL. That's the same across the board for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's one thing I did learn this time. And so it's out there. I've got the shop, which is divinebynatashalee.com.
Wow.
And then what I started doing is I just thought, I love using certain products in my videos, and I tweak. And in my videos, there's ones you'll watch where I'll say, I love this cuticle hoof stick for the hoof, but I use this one for the detail work. Well, I created an amalgamation of the two. So I wanted it to honestly be that when I use my products in my videos, because it is the best.
Fantastic.
And that's
you being authentic. It's like, look, there wasn't anything good enough, so I've created something that I believe is good enough, and here it is.
This is it. So that's what I do now. And this is where my videos have reduced down, because I'm also, at the moment, I'm the person that does all the marketing and I do all the shipping and packing and everything else. But I love it because it's so interesting and different. So at the moment, I'm getting back into the actual blogging because I'm missing writing. I've got an epic video on my timeline at the moment that I'm editing for YouTube. So probably YouTube will be a once to twice a month with a video. I'm missing doing art. Here's the problem. I love creating nail art. I don't love the demand of doing a YouTube video with regards to what we need to do now. It kind of takes all the magic out of it. However, Instagram is a different genre. So my intention is I'm going to start doing art more again, but in little quick videos where it inspires someone. Because when I used to have my salon, I'd watch these little videos and go, oh, I want to try that on a client today.
Wow.
That's what I want to do again. I've missed that side. So I am still going to produce my videos, but
yeah, that's amazing, actually. So just going back to your business, was your business profitable enough to start funding your YouTube channel?
It is. I'm relying entirely on my business now.
Right.
My YouTube channel is purely a way to advertise my business in some respects. But saying that, there's videos, a lot of videos I do that don't use my products, but then there's some that I do that do.
Yeah. And where's your main source of traffic for your business? Is it coming from YouTube or is it coming from other sources?
It's kind of hard to tell at the moment because the thing is, I've been quite good at getting the name known. So people tend to Google the name itself now.
So you're getting direct search.
Yeah, as opposed to being able to get the click-throughs that you can see, when you're looking to see where your traffic's coming through.
Yes, yeah.
So I do get quite a bit. Every time I do a YouTube video, I see a surge. So every time I use a product in a YouTube video, there is a surge in purchasing. I know for sure that when I do quick videos on Instagram. So like the other day, there was a glitter. Someone created a beautiful set of nails using a particular glitter, which I shared on the page and showcased their work. And then after it, I did a close-up video of that glitter in the pot, just probably about 15 seconds. And shared it to Instagram, which I then have it auto-sharing to Facebook. And I have them on business accounts so that I can tag the products in the videos.
So it looks like you're a master of actually brand awareness.
Well,
you really are.
This is what I was doing with them. So then I've got a way that I work it now. But from that video, basically, someone immediately commented, said, I need that glitter. And within 10 minutes, an order had hit my email. Wow. And so that definitely, that's working when you see that. But I have a way now that I have to do it because obviously Natasha Lee, the brand Natasha Lee that originally existed, I call it Natasha Lee Blogger because that's like the username. That's got over 10,000 followers on Instagram. Wow. But Divine by Natasha Lee hasn't because it's new and it's got about 850. So that means that on Natasha Lee Blogger, I can do swipe ups on my Instagram stories where someone can swipe up to purchase, but I can't do that on Divine by Natasha Lee. So
not yet.
Not yet. But what I do is I share, I have a particular format that I now use where I share an image that someone has I share a design that someone has created using some of my products. I then share 1 or 2 pictures afterwards of that product in detail. I then go over to Natasha Lee Blogger and share those same things in the stories with swipe ups. I then go back to Divine by Natasha Lee and go into the story and share another story that's the same products but in a slightly different way, but with a tap to purchase, because you can do that if it's a business account and you set it up as a catalogue. So that is a bit of a time-consuming thing. I don't know if that's something you know about, but
no,
basically what happens is because Instagram and Facebook are now owned by Facebook, what you can do is if you have a business account, you can set something up in Facebook that is your product catalogue. And you literally have to sit there. You can import, I think if you've got a Shopify shop, which I don't, you can import your products straight from your Shopify shop to Facebook. Right. But otherwise, I input all mine just individually.
Yes.
Then what it means is when you post on Instagram, as long as you've got yourself set up as a business manager, when you post on Instagram, you can add the product tags to the pictures or the videos. So when someone looks at the picture, if you ever see it when you scroll through Instagram, you'll see it come up with like a little white price tag, like a blank one. If you tap on that, it gives you a little pop-up window of what the product is. And if you tap on that again, it takes you direct to the site to buy it.
Oh, that's clever.
So what you have to do, I share first on Instagram because Instagram is the place to be at the moment, in honesty with you. So I share first on Instagram, but I have it auto sharing to Facebook. So all I do when I've done it is I go straight onto my desktop on Facebook page and then just edit that post to then put that product tag on the Facebook post.
Wow, so, Natasha, it sounds like you've really got a lot going on there. I wanted to ask actually, because you've got so much going on. You're making the videos, you're running a business, you're running your channels, you're running your social media. I mean, do you have anyone helping you? Is there any outsourcing of any sort?
No, not at the moment. I have got a I'm very lucky to have had an entrepreneur offer to mentor me, which we're in the process of sorting out, which would be amazing because she's massively successful.
Congratulations. That sounds so
Thank you.
exciting.
That's
so exciting.
It feels really nice because at the moment, a lot of this it's been research and stabbing in the dark, and basically it's been Tony Robbins. So
Really?
I did the event again this year. So I took a bit more again away from it because they talk about business quite a bit in that, and it's like that's for me been my only real source of business information. And podcasts, a couple of books, audiobooks, and some.
So then, where did your potential mentor come from?
I was at an event in February that I'd been asked to attend. So I was invited to attend.
And was this an industry event or a YouTube event?
It was a beauty industry event.
Okay.
And so I was going sort of as a blogger and as a qualified nail technician and beauty therapist. I got chatting to a lady that I just thought was epic and a breath of fresh air in the industry. I didn't have any idea who she was. And I couldn't remember her name, because I'm rubbish with names, and that's why everyone gets called darling or lovely or chick. I left that night. We got separated when we got to go and sit at the relevant tables for an awards. I left at a different time to her, so I didn't see her again. I was like, oh, gutted. She was so nice. I wish I knew her name. I'd like to check her out. And then we bumped into each other when we were checking out the hotel the following morning. We were chatting. We went to breakfast together. We chatted till I went to the station. We swapped cards. She offered to help me at that point. She said if there's anything I could do to help. And I said likewise, because she has a few different brands and I just really liked her. And then I stood on the platform and I Googled her and I felt like slapping myself in the forehead repeatedly because I should have known who she was and I didn't. But she's an amazing, absolutely awe-inspiring and hilariously dry and funny person. I've got an awful lot of respect for her because I really like what she does and how she does it and how she's created what she has.
Well, so exciting that she's offered to mentor you.
She's really good. She really focuses on women in business. I'm always a big believer in that if someone has done something before you, there is no reason why you cannot do it. It's been proven it is achievable.
Yeah.
Where the real magic happens is in the Henry Fords, and it's sort of like the Nikola Teslas, the ones that have a concept that goes against the grain of what everyone already believes, and they stand out on their own and go, I believe in myself and this. That's where when you can stand up there and really stand for what you believe, I think that's when the magic happens. I think it's so easy in this cancel culture today to be scared to stand out or do something you believe in or just take a risk because people are so quick to shoot you down.
They are. And I think going back to what you said about, living in your bubble, sometimes it's actually necessary to do that because when you do that is when you can look internally and really get on with the business that you were meant to do.
I think the reason that I love what I do now more than I ever have before. Even though I upload less than I ever have done before.
Interesting, yeah.
I love it now more than I ever have. And that is because I'm a hermit. What I realized to do this career, the way that it is, the risk of how it can be vacuous if you're not careful, and how you can value yourself entirely on how others value you, which I think is a really dangerous position to be in.
I would agree.
Emotionally, spiritually, physically and mentally, I think that's very risky. For me, I realized that the best thing for me to do to be able to be the most authentic version of me and the happiest version of me to present to the people that are looking to me to make them feel better about their day or learn something is to cut out the negativity, to cut out the farce that you tend to get. And
that comes back to being your authentic self.
This is it. I did it with everything. I did it with Facebook. I'm still on Facebook, but I stayed in all the groups that I've always been in. I just turned off every notification.
You help those who are looking for help. You inspire those who want to be inspired. And that comes back to you creating your YouTube channel and going from strength to strength and kind of evolving into lots of different things. I think that satisfy you.
That's a perfect word, that evolving. That's, I think I know that I am not alone in the troubles I've had in myself
Mhm.
and as a mum, as a person,
Mhm.
just trying to find
Mhm.
myself and how to be happy with myself.
Yeah, I mean, there's an irony there. Is at the end of the day, all what we don't know as we grow up is ultimately you get to a point where you're actually just looking for yourself.
That's it. Who am
And
I? What
yeah,
makes me
who
happy?
exactly.
And
And the great thing is that YouTube, for me personally, and obviously for a lot of YouTubers, it's just given us a huge opportunity to find ourselves. And
I love YouTube,
yeah.
and I love it as a creator and as a
Mhm.
consumer.
Mhm.
I have hit a point now going through the nearly quitting because of the things said about me as a person, about my family,
Yeah.
having to
Take a step
have,
back.
yeah, and
Yeah.
having the things that I hated about myself picked up by other people and thrown at me like a weapon, and all those sort of things. I
Mhm.
hit a point where I'm really grateful for that, because I could have gone along quite oblivious for quite a long time and trying to people please. And I think when you're trying to
Mhm.
people please, it doesn't necessarily work. It doesn't
No,
work unless you are really happy yourself.
that's right.
So this is where I'm really, I hope if anything comes out of what I do, it
Mhm.
just shows other people that sometimes in your darkest days, when you might feel useless or you feel there's no hope and you can't see an end in sight,
Mhm.
if you just focus on something small, all it takes is that butterfly effect.
Yes.
For me, it was a vision that I might one day, when my kids are starting school, be able to go into a salon and work. It was silly. That's how it started. And I
Yeah.
just wanted to inspire others to step outside their comfort zone and try some art. That's all
Mhm.
it was.
Well, I think you've certainly inspired people here today, people listening, and certainly inspired me with everything that you've done so far. We're coming to the end of the show right now. So I just wanted to ask you, just before we go, have you got any sort of ideas or improvements that you would like to see on the YouTube platform as a YouTuber that might help you in your own personal business growth or your YouTube journey?
I think I would love to see, the time has gone where we felt like we were a family with YouTube, where YouTube embraced its creators and supported them so wonderfully, and we worked together. It was like having a big brother that you wanted to impress, and in turn they would come back and say, you could do this a bit better, and you'd work
Yeah.
together. And now it feels like a fight. It feels like an us and them, and I know I'm not alone with that. And I
Mhm.
think, unfortunately, the restrictive algorithms are killing artistic license and creativity, and that's what saddens me, because on
Mhm.
my recommended page and on my homepage, I don't see who I'm subscribed to because it's being suppressed.
Mhm.
There are channels that are science discovery channels that, because sometimes they might hit things that are a little bit controversial,
Controversial. Yeah.
I want that controversy. I
Yeah.
want that balance. I want that to make up my own mind of, how do I
Mhm.
feel about this, that question. We are being fed vacuous cancel culture content, which is affecting our children, and it's
Mhm.
creating a very unhappy
Yeah.
generation that is growing up, that is basing themselves on what they see online.
Yeah.
And I think what we should be embracing again is
Mhm.
that wonderful individuality, which is what YouTube was known for in the beginning. The quirks, the individuality, where it was the content,
Mhm.
not how long the video was or how many ring lights you've got using and
Mhm.
how many times you've used a certain tag and weighted your title with a
Mhm.
certain SEO.
Mhm.
Because I think it just feels like YouTube has lost what made it beautiful and magic. And I really hope that I'm round long enough to see that come back.
Oh, well, on that note, I think we should finish it there. I'm completely with you. I really believe it will come back. I just feel that, again, this is an evolution of YouTube itself that it needs to go through, but it's going to grow. And we as creators should continue doing what we do. I wish you so much success with your business. I'll be putting the links to your site in the description and the podcast notes, and anything else that might be like your viral videos. I'll put all the links in there. So if anybody wants to go and check them out, I really, really do recommend that you do. How do you describe your products?
I would say that they are the highest level of professional quality products that are available to professionals and enthusiasts at shockingly reasonable prices, because I am fed up of people being overcharged for stuff.
So if you want to get some really authentic products for your nails, then this is the place to go. And also, while doing that, you know that you'll be supporting a really brilliant YouTube channel. Thanks, Natasha, for coming in. It's been absolutely inspiring talking to you. You're just an absolutely amazing woman. And I just wish you so much luck with the business. And I don't think you need it, because I think it's just going to fly. And I just wish you so much luck with your YouTube channel too. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you very much, Emma. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you for asking me.
If you're looking to rapidly grow your channel but don't know where to start, then join my YouTube Audience Growth Lab, where I take you through the 5 steps to automate your YouTube success so that you can focus on what you love doing most, delivering awesome content and reaching those viewers. The great part is it's available all year round, and I'm offering the first module absolutely free when you sign up today. It's ready and waiting when you are, so now's the time to take action. You can learn more and see what other students are saying by clicking the link in the show notes below. I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I did. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.